Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to Control Group. I think I've lost count of how many sessions this is. I think it's 4.
Um, we do about an hour, then we have a break. We do about an hour. So videos, it's different than our sessions, which makes things even more confusing.
Hmm.
I think this is session 3 or 4. Yeah, I think it's 4. Yeah, it's 4.
Cool.
And last we left, there were
Yeah,
ghouls.
there were indeed ghouls. So, a brief recap of the situation. Random was currently grappling with a out of control Mish who seems to be possessed or at least influenced by the vampire.
Yep.
At the same time, they are also surrounded by ghouls. Random stayed outside with the cars, and the 3 teenagers got us noticed Misha was not acting like she usually does or not acting normally.
She
And
smelled. She smelled off.
indeed. And when Random pressed her about that, all hell broke loose and ghouls started crawling from all over the place. Meanwhile, inside, Laurie and Elaine had gone to see if they could call for help. Things went bad in there as the dead body of the park ranger who was in the office grabbed or attempted to grab Laurie's ankle, and Laurie got a bit of a calf gouge out of it.
That's not great.
Indeed. I do believe Elaine did something to get the ghoul off of Laurie at that point. Probably something to do with summon puppets.
Uh oh no, I think it was something else actually. It's on the sheet. Didn't I spend one of the preparation tags on puppeting the corpse or taking control of it from whoever was controlling it?
Yeah, I would allow that.
I I feel like that's what happened, isn't it?
Sounds like, yeah.
I either did that or I was planning to do that anyway.
Well, let's say that's how you got the zombie off Laurie. So you can certainly do that. All right. So there's a few things on the board that everyone should be made aware. We have 3 soft moves still on the board. Rules are made to be broken. Call to Darkness and Peter's Revenge. Because Peter has Chad's shotgun and is of a mind to use it. Now, also on the board, you will see a few other things. Each of the NPCs, Lucy, Peter, and Misha, along with the shambling ghouls, has their little stat, which tells you what sort of moves they can make and how tough they are to get rid of. You probably noticed there are 2 ways for Lucy and Peter currently to be taken out. They have a stress track that is physical and a stress track that is mental.
Yeah, I see
So
that.
Either of those hits 5, it will be bad. If the hits the maximum of the spectrum, Lucy will be dead if she hits 3 physical. Peter will be dead if he hits 4. They both have a mental track of 5, at which point they will have suffered long-term mental, their long-term mental health will suffer at that point.
They're not as resilient as heroes.
No. Misha, on the other hand, has an evil influence spectrum. This means it's currently at 3. If you can reduce it, you will be able to break the spell.
Ouch. Okay.
There is a story tag. Exposed cables. That's just there it's an environmental story tag. There are power lines have been cut. There's a lot of damage to the buildings. If anyone figures out a way to use some electrified cables, it's there for people to use and burn.
Okay.
Last but not least, Here Comes the Sun is a ticking clock spectrum based on the time bomb mechanics. If you can work out how to do things to, say, stall for time, eventually the sun will break. And that will probably have an effect on the ghouls at the very least.
Yeah, that will, at least I'm hoping, getting rid of the ghouls.
So, where should we put the spotlight?
I think Random and Misha should.
I'm
Awesome.
fine with Random and Misha.
You
Random.
are playing Random, yes.
Indeed. Random, you are currently wrestling with Misha. Lucy is screaming behind you. Peter is shouting and is probably about to start firing at the ghouls that are coming for them. What is Random doing?
Okay. I'm grappling with Misha and their exposed cables, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, this is kind of what I want to do. I want her to try to move over to where she gets zapped by the cables and it zaps into Misha to at least stun Misha.
So you want to hit the cables on yourself and then chain it into the person you're grappling.
Right.
That sounds like a toe-to-toe roll.
Okay, let's see, Xenomorph moves fast, Xenomorph moves fast, Xenomorph moves fast, so I'm going to activate Mantras of Speed and Transport to get some speed. I'm going to do... yes.
Sorry, mantras?
I did my mobility got a new thing.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
When Subversion will get a similar one for hiding and all that, but I've got a little bit back of my adaptation back, but not all of it yet. I'm going to go ahead, heighten situational awareness, and of course the exposed cables. Let's see. Anything else?
Let's see here. The monster kills.
Oh, this indeed could go really wrong. Yeah.
That is the idea.
Okay. Hmm. Trying to see if there's anything else I can think of. I don't, and I think anything else I might want to leave for just in case. So power 2. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to not hit reset because I'm not going to make that mistake again. Here we go. Woo! I get to choose 2!
Indeed.
I actually want her to get a bite out of Random and taste some of Random's blood for later.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm not going to block, dodge, or counter, but I'm going to achieve my goal, which is to have her catapulted safely off me, and I'm going to zap her with a non-lethal status of shocked. So on a stun status rather than the health status.
Okay, so that would be a power 2 status.
Yes.
Would you like that to go towards the evil influence?
Yes, I definitely would.
Okay.
Especially with what I plan for the change the game.
Yeah, so I'd say you managed to achieve your goal and get them good.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you see a sparking cable lying in a puddle, and with a surge of strength and speed, you hurl yourself into the water. There's a flash, and Misha is thrown off you. She's rolling around. There's probably some like smoke.
Indeed.
Yes. Fortunately, you think that Random's previous use of, I believe you used some undead abilities at some point in the Last of the Wild.
I've used them off and on this evening. I've been Adam and I've been vampire. So, and I've been a
Okay.
ghost actually. So I've used 3 different variations of either undead or undead adjacent things. Freddy, for that matter. Do I take a status because I did not protect myself? And I was actually hoping she got a bite at.
Yeah, that's what I'm considering. So yes, I'm going to ping the story tag exposed cables and burn it so that you get a status 1 of singed.
Well, I just healed the shotgun injury.
Yeah, but you're getting more human.
Oh, good point. I'm not as legendary as I was.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Misha rolls a bit, hits the side of a... She shakes herself a bit, the red glow in her eyes flickers slightly, reasserts itself as she pulls herself up into on all fours, like in a very animalistic gesture. Lucy leaps into the back seat of a car to hide, while Peter levels his shotgun at some of the approaching shambling ghouls and blows a significant chunk out of the upper half of one. He's screaming and shouting about "You'll never take me," etc.
Okay. At least it's not game over. Electricity hurts.
Mm-hmm. So, Elaine,
How many dead are there? Because we've got, mob rule size as a status for the size of the mob, I assume.
Yeah. There are between 20 and 30 of them.
Awesome. Elaine stands still. She begins twitching fingers splayed out from, and with each new twitch, she asserts control over a new corpse, and they turn to face the east and kneel in preparation for the coming daylight.
Oh, okay. Oh. So you're attempting to take control of them and ping. Here comes the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like change the game.
Yeah, I think that sounds like change the game. I mean, in some ways it could be go toe-to-toe. I mean, hit with all you got because you are inflicting a status of controlled on them. It sounds more like change the game.
Well, the idea was to use the delaying action, as you mentioned, the time bomb rules, to try and
Got it. Yeah.
have this mop them up.
Yep.
So, reckless abandon, always a new monster, maybe puppets all the way down, and self-doubt. What do we think?
Self-doubt, maybe, yeah, because this is kind of extreme.
I agree with all of those.
Awesome.
However,
I remember which ones I said.
You said reckless abandon, puppets all the way down. There was another one there that I can't remember.
Always a new monster.
Always a new monster, thank you. Okay, there is a problem here, though.
Oh.
Attempting to do this by taking control of the ghoul puts you up against the vampire, in part.
I thought that might be the case, so I'm going to spend that juice as well for...
Okay. However, it is a -4.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
We are fighting an avatar here. We are so far from being able to take her down. Right now, we're just trying to survive.
Nuh-uh. You've set your sights too low. I will be feasting on her flesh by the time dawn rolls. Or maybe. So -4, you say?
-4.
Are there any plus statuses going I can call on?
Preparing puppets? Oh, you spent that juice.
I've already spent that one for this. It's already spent to get me to the -1.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot on the board. Could anyone spend a help? Laurie is there. If Laurie, say, notices that Elaine seems to be doubting that she can do this, he can put his hand on her shoulder and say, don't worry, you've got this. So that's an extra one from Laurie.
Change the game.
Change the game.
Change the game. Change the game.
You get 1 juice.
What means you've got control of the ghouls, or at least some of them, for a very brief time.
Alright, let's spend that juice that I've generated on making it closer to dawn.
Alright. Elaine's power manifests shadowy puppet strings?
Mostly, yes.
So yes, for a moment, a network of shadowy puppet strings lashes out and binds each of the ghouls. They struggle against it for a few moments before a surge of power lets them break through. However, it is long enough that it does give Lucy and Peter some breathing space, at the very least.
Go, Lori, go, Lori.
Let's see here. Laurie looks around at the situation, and his first thought is, he sees the ghouls shambling toward his student. Of course, the ghouls are also of his former associates and students. There's a bit of horrifying realization. Laurie's unarmed, and in this situation, that's really bad. However, he's going to search around the ranger's office because they're going to have a shotgun or a pistol or something, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go Survivor's Instincts, Uncanny Luck. I don't want to use the worm turns yet. I don't think anything else applies. Shouldering others' burdens, realistic realist. Empty pockets does come into play here, though. I'm not going to throw in the calf cut, but this will be a change the game to create tags or whatever.
Oh,
I'm too.
No,
I can't reasonably help from where I am.
indeed. That's all right.
I have
Lau-
one health point that's on random. Sorry.
It's okay. Laurie searches around. The ranger zombie had a gun on him, but it's completely dry. It's out of bullets.
The ranger put up a fight.
Yep.
Flashback to Veronica tearing apart the ranger thing with the ranger screaming up, "Ah!" emptying his clip into her.
Mm-hmm. Alright, a bit of keeping up with everything. The shambling ghouls, some of the shambling ghouls start attacking the door to the car that Lucy's hiding. They crack the glass. Lucy's sort of huddled in the footwell.
Right.
I'm going to upgrade her mental status to... So she's not doing too well.
Yay.
Meanwhile, Peter is doing a fairly good job of keeping the ghouls off of them from the other side of the car. Anything that comes close, as long as he as long as he doesn't run out of shotgun shells, he's going to be okay. Misha, however, is charging in a mixture of two-legged and four-legged hops towards Elaine. Again.
Elaine?
Oh, not Elaine, sorry, I get to random.
Okay, okay, I still need her to bite me. Okay. Okay, so random is going to use the xenomorphs are fast. She's not actually doing that, but I do have the mantras, speed and transport. I am going to go ahead and aim at clearing away the ones that are around Lucy first.
Okay.
She's going to go in and try to tear them apart.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a hit it with all you've got.
Yep. I can't say appear out of nowhere because I'm coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and hit Mantras of Speed and Transport. Explore my free will. I'm not attacking the thing that's attacking.
I agree with that.
Dark shadows and flickering lights.
Yeah, I'll give you that. There's probably quite a bit of flickering light coming from the sparking electrical line.
And it would conceal my direction. Anything that comes to a problem?
I mean, I'd be tempted by heightened situational awareness because you're protecting the weakest link at the moment.
I'm kind of saving that in case for a face danger, but
Understood. Let's see. Place with fear of exposure. I'm not seeing a weakness tag that fits.
I am singed. That will come into play, I think.
Yeah. You take a -1 because of the size status on the shambling ghoul.
So an additional -1. Can I do the puppet backup as well?
You can, yes.
Okay. So a power of 4.
Hey, you might very well clear out the ghouls here, but there will be a consequence.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get more of them to get as many as I can. I am also going to take the upper hand. And what I want that juice to do is, I'm expecting Misha's going to get a bite in on me. And when she does get a status on me, I'm hoping to turn that juice into completing getting rid of the evil influence.
Cool.
That is an interesting thought. I have the slightly more horrible and bastardly thought that while you're not focused on Misha, she's going to get that evil influence reinstated.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
But I am going to gain some juice on this, and I'm going to get more of the ghouls and hitting them with power 4.
Right, so power 4, you're getting them good?
Yeah, so I'm imagining I can clear all the ghouls around the car on Lucy, and maybe some coming up behind Peter.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to eliminate that side. So you kill, you tear through these things as you come to Lucy's defense. They do not stand a chance. And you quickly find out that they need to be dismembered, so tearing them to pieces is a good plan.
Yeah, well, I'm in the right monster form for ripping things apart.
Oh, yes. Mob rule also gets...
That's an interesting one.
Hmm.
I am vulnerable, though.
Indeed. They're at a status of 3 with 1 remainder.
Yep.
I think... No, it's just a flat status 3.
Yeah.
Because that's 4.
Because it was the first
4 boxes. Yeah. Okay, so...
So what were your 2 that you took, Thryth? You got them good and...
I got more of them, plus 1 target, so I could counter the size. And gain the upper hand to gain 1 juice.
The view from Lucy's viewpoint may be one of the most in this situation. She's terrified. The glass is cracking. They're about to break into the car at any moment. The whole vehicle is rocking on its suspension. then random zooms in like a shadow across the back window, and there is just a splash of gore as body parts start flying and peppering the car. An arm goes through the cracked window and lands right in her lap, spattering her with blood from the still spouting limb. So she's going to take some stress.
Yep. Oh joy, you're at 4.
Mm-hmm. In addition, so Peter has some resistance to this, but he sees random mayhem firsthand as she just tears everyone apart. A head hits the bonnet, causing a dent, and rolls towards him, stopping just at the right point where he can see that he knew this kid. He went to school with this kid.
Oh no.
Luckily, he's had a puff of marijuana just recently, so he's fairly calm and inured slightly. But that kind of snaps him out of that as he stares blankly. Which means he's also not seeing when Misha rises up behind him.
Oh no. Oh no.
Grabs him from behind and sinks her teeth into his shoulder.
She changed targets.
Okay, so his drug-assisted karma's gone, but luckily he only took one. He only took one extra mental stress. He is, however, taking 2 on his physical.
Right, because he has nothing to block the vampirism move.
Indeed.
Okay. Where does that move the spotlight to?
Well, I'm going to say something else happens at this point, but what would Elaine like the spotlight knowing that something is going to happen, or should I put it on?
Yeah.
Actually, I think for this particular thing, I'm going to put the spotlight on Laurie. If that's okay?
Okay.
All right. Laurie, after scrambling around behind the counter and finding the empty automatic pistol and just sort of tossing it aside, stands up and then jumps, pushing himself backwards into the putting his back to the as he sees the shadowy figure of Victoria stepping down from the sky, as you know, if she was walking down a staircase out from the night itself. Towards him and Elaine. She tosses her midnight black locks out of her face and revealing that her face is just covered in blood. Her fangs glisten white in the moonlight as she smiles. So sorry I'm late. I paused to nab a spot of dinner. Laurie glances towards the east before looking back at Victoria. Puts his hand up and says, whoa, wait. Look, we just want to get out of here, okay? We're not here to deal with any of this. What the hell do you want? Why are you doing this to us? And other such things to see if he can stall her.
Ooh.
So I'm going to say best intention.
Best intentions. I'm going to say the worm turns, because that's a thing the final girl does, is confusing the monster till that last moment.
This is true. What makes people tick? Calming influence. I think that's it.
Monstrous attraction, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is a thing. I don't think the calf cut factors in.
I think it does, because it's bleeding and she's a vampire.
Oh, that's a good point. All right,
Sorry.
it's okay. And for reasons that I'm not going to talk about, it is a -2 to.
Oh, lovely.
Cool. Okay. I think this is a change to the game. It's close to a convince, but I don't think convinced what we want it to do.
I don't think you're actually trying to change her agenda, so I don't think it's convince.
No.
It could be go toe to toe, but I think change the game is more likely.
Yeah, because I'm trying to stall for time to. Oh!
Well, there you go. I think the stalling
Wow.
for time is definitely going to move the sunlight closer.
Yeah, minimum 2. Alright, so I can get it to a 2 with 1 remaining.
Yep.
She laughs and says, why, what else, my dear? I'm here for you. On my return to the city, I will need brides. After all, it would be unseemly for me to dirty my hands with, well, everything I need to do. Perhaps we can come to an arrangement. Elaine.
Elaine is going to look to Laurie. Does Laurie appear to have a handle on this? Sorry, no. Not does Laurie have a handle on this. Does Laurie think they have a handle on this? How confident does Laurie look?
To borrow the phrase from a movie, Laurie looks like they feel like they're a little worm on a big effing hook. That being said, they've put themselves on that hook. I have a question for you, though.
You may ask.
What does Elaine consider constituting harm to Laurie?
Halting Laurie's ability to self-determine.
That's a good one. You think Laurie is handling this really well? Obviously, he's stalling for time. And if he stalls long enough and the sun comes up, that's probably going to do something to a vampire of this magnitude.
Excellent. If he feels confident in this plan and is giving every sign of confidence in this plan, Elaine steps in two directions. One of her turns to stand up beside Laurie and politely makes the double sort of flicking gesture that means sign language in a polite inquiry as to whether or not the vampire signs. The other spreads her arms vaguely martyr-like, maybe messianically, and just walks among the ravening ghouls so that they all stop what they're currently trying to eat and eat her instead.
Interesting.
I would like to make that a hit it with all you've got aimed at more delaying.
I will go with that. I like that.
Right, puppet substitution undetectable 2 places at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's meaningless if the monster can die. Do you think the monster must be unidentifiable?
I think
No.
we're
I will explain why not in a bit.
That's okay. I didn't really think so. She's not using. It's pretty simple trickery. She's only tricking the zombies, really.
The other thing is, Elaine was a contemporary of Colbert, so she has heard of Elaine before.
Oh, that's a problem because. Oh, I didn't end up taking the weakness for people who know the monster's identity.
And you haven't spoken, so I'm not going to tag that.
Well, she can't speak. That's.
That sounds like it's a weakness that applies when you're dealing with people that don't understand sign language and communication is an issue.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's the idea.
Yes, which doesn't apply here because
If the face that's facing the vampire is being polite and, nicely asking if she speaks sign, will the porcelain perfect beauty come into play?
I will say yes.
Alright, what negatives are you throwing at me?
There is a -2.
No weakness tags?
I can't see any weakness tags here. I've pinged self-doubt already. The vampire knows sign. Yeah.
Poop!
Distant and unfeeling doesn't fit here because that helps you.
Yeah. At least in this instance. There will be instances where it doesn't. Okay, yeah. Go, power 3. It is a hit it with all you've got.
I will inflict, I'll advance the clock by a delay of 3 for the power.
Right.
And the choose one will be collateral damage. I will say that the Elaine that got eaten to death was out of view of the poor defenseless, not really ready to deal with this people.
Right, I forgot to control collateral damage. That was what I did.
Yeah. So here comes the sun is at 3 with remainder of 2.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Probably starting to get a little light on the horizon over the mountains.
Indeed.
Veronica smirks as she takes a step forward and makes the sign for hello and says, "Ah, Elaine Griffin, I have heard of you. I'm so sorry our paths haven't crossed before. Out of respect for your reputation, if you could stand aside for one moment while I attend to my business, I would hate to cut our meeting short."
Elaine smiles politely and offers a set of signs back. Uh, Essentially, sorry, the thing about sign language is it's a bit abbreviated and context sensitive, so I'm not going to transliterate. Or at least Auslan. I have no idea what American Sign Language is like. Elaine signs back. Always a pleasure. Then she indicates Laurie and says responsibility. And asks to know your intention.
Why, I merely wish him to taste of my blood.
She reiterates responsibility and then free will important.
I can promise that. Now, you know what? This will be even more fun this way. What if I gave you my word that his will would remain inviolate? Though I could mesmerize him, I will refuse to, upon my word of honor.
Is there something, I guess, an investigate I could roll to know her mythos well enough to make a judgment on the value of her word of honor?
Yes, I would allow that.
The only thing I can think of is Lady Detective.
Let's see, Lady Detective. Yeah, unfortunately, that's also all I can see. None of the crew themes work. Laurie has used all of their help on.
I mean, she can also levy a plus or minus against me with her stats, depending on if she wants me to come to an accurate conclusion.
This is true. I will give you a +2 from her.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
3 clues.
3 clues. Do I suspect from what I know of her mythos that she will uphold her word of honor?
She seems. So there's two things you think are at play here from her psychology. one, yes, she obviously does value her word of honor. If she gives her word, you think she will do her best to keep it to her ability. The other thing is, she seemed genuinely intrigued by the idea of making things more difficult for herself to increase the challenge.
Which is appropriate to pretty much to many versions of Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quite a lot of them. Yeah, at that point, Elaine is probably going to step a little aside.
Laurie, as Elaine takes a step back, Laurie looks to her, looks to Veronica, looks back to you. This is, if I, so wait. If I drink your blood, this nightmare will be over. We get to go home. To which Veronica chuckles a little and says, well, yes, indeed, you may get to go home, but there will be the question of whether who gets to go home. Will they be the same person? But that's philosophical at this point. I'm going to switch the spotlight to random at that point because cliffhanger.
Okay.
This may be a good point, Thrith, to break up the.
It is. We're at about the time we would usually take a break. We started about 7:30. It's about it's 8:38. So, my clock.
All right.
So I
Well,
will. I can close the video right now, and we can take a break and come back.
not a problem. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will catch you soon.
Yep. We'll catch you pretty soon. Could you repeat that last bit real quick?
Laurie got a bit of a calf gouge. Calf cut is the current status of one that's on Laurie for that.
Side note, the character sheets have updated, and things that have been clicked are now visible.
Yay! And is of a mind to use it. Now, also on the board, you will see a few other things. Each of the NPCs, Lucy, Peter, and Misha, along with the shambling ghouls, has their little stat, which tells you what sort of moves they can make and how tough they are to get rid of.
Which is a thing I forget to do when I'm GMing this. As a note, I accidentally said this without putting the push to talk on, but I tend to forget to put enemy statuses and such public. So I need to remember this when I'm GMing.
Yep, it's nice to be able to interact with things, I think.
Yeah, that's still something from my D&D experiences of keeping things secret.
Oh yes, for sure. So you want to hit the cables on yourself and then chain it into the person you're grappling.
Right.
All right, that sounds like a hit with all you've got.
Well,
Isn't it take a risk or?
It's either take
It could be take a risk.
or go toe to toe. I'm not in a clear position, so I can't do hit with all I've got.
Good point.
Does hit with all you've got have a capacity to backfire? Because if not, it probably shouldn't.
Yeah, this is true.
It does
Actually,
have
I can just press the
capacity.
button.
It does have capacity to backfire.
Let's see. Hit with all you've got.
Do I still have monstrous rage, or is that gone by now? When my theme cracked.
I'd say that went when your theme cracked.
Just show me what the options are. God damn it. There we go. Achieve your goal. Get them good. You block, dodge, or counter.
Yeah.
I think it's. Let's take the risk.
Take a risk is kind of when you're doing something that's dangerous, but there's not a direct opponent for it.
Okay, so it's not going to be take the risk. I think it's going to be go toe to toe.
I still have puppet backup. There's that. Okay.
Indeed. Yeah, the cheat sheet player moves in the book are not super helpful.
Yeah, they're okay.
No, I just clicked through the auto roll ones to see.
Yes, I saw that, sweetie. I was trying to find Also, their landscape, not portrait, which is probably nice when you have a book, maybe.
Ah, right. I actually have the book, so rather than the PDF.
Yeah. I cannot afford to lug stuff around like that anymore.
Same. I really can't either, but it was so pretty. Anyway, I'm a lot of this is going to get moved to the bloopers, but because it's mechanics talk.
That's fine. Hang one moment. Go toe to toe is a catch-all move for situations where your character is trying to achieve a goal, such as grabbing an object or securing a position, but in doing so faces opposition. So yes, I would agree that sounds like a toe to toe roll. What did I do?
I don't know. I think you briefly opened the evil influence to edit it, and you hit an enter or something.
Right. My screen has gone transparent white.
It's not responding. Oh,
is it doing the crash thing? I hate the crash thing.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
It was Adobe that was screwed.
Did it recover?
Yep. I just had to click out of the window.
Okay. Oh.
Alright, so...
Do I take a status because I did not protect myself? And I was actually hoping she got a bite at.
Yeah, that's what I'm considering. I think I'm also going to ping that story tag of exposed cables and
burn it. You got cut off right off the
Yeah.
end. Oh.
No, I simply stopped.
Good point. Feral Teen just cracked, and what's going on from that? And I guess it might. I guess here you would describe the results of that or what situation's going on. You did her getting cut off, and then move on to Emily or Elaine.
Elaine, yeah.
Blooper reel.
How does stop holding back differentiate from change the game? I don't remember what stop holding back does.
Stop holding back is when you push the limits of your mythos to make your abilities do something they've never done before.
It also, every time you use it, you're going to pay.
Yeah. You don't. You roll your. I think it's your mythos, isn't it? That you roll for it.
No, it's actually your logos. So the more in tune with your identity you are, the more effective it is. The less chance you have of going over that border.
Yeah. So you roll the number of logos themes you have. And basically you will always sacrifice something. The end result can be anything from like you're probably going to take a status at the extreme end, like ultimate stop holding back. You can crack all of your themes and undergo a complete transformation, like status 6. Stop holding back is what you do if you want something drastic to happen to your character, or you're in desperate mode and you need to use Death Blossom, or it's that sort of dramatic, like, or possibly Thor pulling it all out to fight Hela.
Right.
Indeed. No, I gathered that. That's a fair bit higher than I really wanted for this, but it does mean that there's no...
Change the game is when you do something to give yourself a status, or...
I am aware.
Yeah.
It's probably easier to describe what you want to do, and then we can fit that to one of the moves. We did not do the geek out during the credits last time. I think
Yes,
well, I don't have a help listed for Elaine. I should.
As I recall, we did do it, but it's possible that you didn't list it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to spin that. It'll turn out I'm going to listen to the video later processing. It'll turn out I gave it to Lori, and that's instead.
Well, I mean, I was thinking of Laurie giving Elaine some help, because Laurie is right there, and
I would go ahead and I'm going to assume I gave a one help to Lori instead of Elaine last time. Otherwise, my thought would be the vampire's focused on random and distracted. Okay. Okay. So, is it possible I have the singe? It's not my spotlight yet. Sorry.
it's Laurie's spotlight.
As a note, I did upgrade Feral Team while we were doing other things. It has an improvement on its back. Okay.
Cool. Sorry. My apologies. Give me a moment. I'm going to go refill my drink and just recalibrate to...
I apologize. I don't know.
No. It's okay. It's nothing anyone...
My free advice at this point, Thrith, would have been... It probably would have been better to play that as a delaying action for the sun, because the sun will probably kill the ghouls and kill Misha.
Good point. Yeah. Oh well.
That's alright.
I see I'm not the only one with coughing fits tonight.
I have been deathly ill since Sunday. Last week.
Lovely.
Yes, the convention pox.
Con
Had
crud.
crud.